All right, I've got to reply back to Mr. Greg Combs. His comment was, I would support anyone who believes in American values and our Constitution. Biden is controlled by the NWO. I'm assuming that's New World Order. We are being invaded by terrorists, and you cheer them on. Well, Mr. Greg Combs, let's break this down one piece at a time. First of all, I would support anyone who believes in American values. The American values of grabbing women by the SA, couple dozen women just because, found guilty of and defamation of character, 91 indictments, sold military secrets to our allies, to people like, Russia, Saudi Arabia. Or how about just the straight up Bible thumping church, hey, I believe, I'm just saying, I don't believe in someone with 3 wives that's cheated on every single one, with everything from porn stars to anything else that came his way, that spent his life mixing coke and Adderall and partying and just treating women like overall crap, is considered American values. But if this is what the GOP version, the Republican version of American values is, I guess it's okay that, you're a little loose with the whole classified document stuff. I mean, what's a little bit of national security anyway, really, right? American values and that Constitution thing. That's my favorite part because, the MAGA just believes that he is supporting the Constitution, even though Trump himself repeatedly talks about not supporting the Constitution. In fact, he even filed with his buddies in the Supreme Court, the people he basically, forced in there illegally kind of thing, that. Yeah, in a filing to them. See, there's this little case with the 14th Amendment, which I believe is part of the Constitution. I think so, anyway, but I'm just an ignorant liberal. That 14th Amendment case being taken off the ballots for being part of an insurrection. Oh, I'm sorry, a group vacation of frustrated patriots that happen to enjoy beating the hell out of police and law enforcement that all you Republicans are behind. Woohoo! Anyway, I regress. But yeah, that Constitution thing that you swear that he upholds, he actually wrote in his argument to the Supreme Court. It's in a filing you're going to have to read. There's a lot of 3-4 syllable words in there, so you may want to grab a liberal or a Democrat to help you read them, just so you understand. But he filed that he never promised to uphold the Constitution. Donald J. Trump and his legal team said he was even sworn in with a completely new oath of office. That inauguration with the biggest crowds in inauguration history. Remember that? Yeah, that was a different oath because Trump is so special. They swore him in without him promising to uphold and defend and fight for the Constitution of the United States. So this, our Constitution thing that you think Trump's all about, you may want to listen to the words he speaks or write the words that he and his supposed to be overpaid, but he doesn't pay his lawyers either. So anyway, he and his legal team filed right to the Supreme Court himself, where he flat out says he doesn't care about the Constitution. And if you really want to check his words, you're going to have to read. It's research. Sorry to give you homework, but that's how you find out things called facts, because facts are actually all spelled out in those 91 charges. The indictments, the things that go through this process with, what's it called? Oh, yeah, evidence and grand juries and the court system that actually prove facts with documentation, corroborating evidence, and then they present all this evidence fact stuff to these people that are like Republicans and Democrats. What are they called again? Oh, yeah, the grand jury. Yeah, this is how indictments happen. So the grand jury looks at all the facts, both Republican and Democrat grand jury, and they look at it and they go, wow, this guy is beyond the shadow of a doubt guilty. And they come to that conclusion after looking at all of the facts that you've never seen, I've never seen, but I'm smart enough to realize that those facts and the people who see the facts know guilt from innocence, and they don't get their overall opinions from Breitbart or the ghost of Rush Limbaugh or Jesse Waters. They actually see the evidence. And every single one of those grand jury members, every single one, said guilty beyond reasonable doubt. And then it moves into where it is right now. See, when you say that Biden is, controlled by the New World Order, is that order having to do with justice and actually defending this country from within, or that whole thing? What documents that in? Anyway, unimportant, right? Like the Constitution. When you're going to make a comment and you're going to bash somebody on somebody's feed or somebody's comment, and this isn't your first comment, sharing your wealth of MAGA news narratives, you need to understand you're wrong. Your reason for praising this Donnie Two Scoops Mango Mussolini false prophet that you name as American values, that he believes in American values, is Donald Trump? Greg, I got a simple question. Do you have daughters, Greg? Wife? A sister? Any female that you care about? Would you leave Mr. Bronzer number 14 in a room alone with any of those women? Honestly, would you? Even if you know for a fact every single one of those allegations was false, and even if you know that locker room talk about grabbing him because he can, even if you know that was all just, it's just locker room talk, right? Doesn't mean anything. What if you had a 15-year-old daughter? Would you leave him alone in a room and said, I'm going to go to the store. You guys have fun. Would you? If you say yes, you're either the worst father in the world or you're ignorant as in American values. Really? Trump believes in our Constitution. Freedom of speech is for everybody, even you. But if you're going to go at people, make sure you're backing it up with facts and evidence. And if you think Donald Trump represents your values, I feel sorry for the people around you, especially your daughters. Just saying. We're in this together, Greg, whether you like it or not, whether we like it or not. So let's focus a little bit more on what we have in common and things we agree on, like the actual Constitution being an important document that should guide the workings of this country. But let's not be stupid enough to think that these politicians on both sides of the aisle are 100% honest, because we know yours isn't. And if you're going to compare him to Biden, make sure there's something to compare. Because if Biden makes a mistake, we'll be able to fix it again. If Trump gets back in and makes another mistake, well, everything he's doing on purpose. We're not going to have another vote. So when you do wake up and find out how wrong you are, it'll be too late. So I suggest you do a little more research, Greg. Just a little bit. Because that's what we should be doing if we call ourselves true patriots. And if we actually give a shit about this country, that's our obligation to do. It's not about party. It's about country. So take these types of comments and keep them to yourself.